Hello and happy Friday. Coming at you live here at Insight Production Studios in Phoenix, Arizona. My name is Robert Morales from Our CEO Network. Our CEO Network, good people, better business, discovering the best of you. For the next hour, we're going to be talking to a special guest of mine, maybe two. I'm hopeful that it's going to be two. About their life, about their business, and about this health stuff. So if you have any questions, just go ahead and type them in, especially at the bottom, and we'll get to them as we go along. If you're watching us right now, hit the little heart button because we love the loves. If you're watching on the replay, hit the little wow emoji because, wow, I can't believe you're not watching us live. With that said, we got a couple housekeeping items. Please follow us here at Facebook at Our CEO Network, Instagram, LinkedIn, OurCEONetwork.com. We will accept your likes and take you as one of our people, whatever that means. So before I start, let me get rid of this nasty stuff. Before I start, I have to do a full disclosure. This next person I have known for a while, so she doesn't get any special treatment, but I have known her for a while, so I have to disclose that. And we'll talk about that too. So with that said, she is a mother of 3 daughters, has a Bachelor of Science in Business Management. She has been licensed as she has been the licensed agent for life, accident, and specifically health insurance since 2013. Please welcome Miss Marisol Justiniano.
Yay, thank you.
I know, I lost my studio audience. Hello, Miss Marisol. How are you?
How are you?
Oh, pretty good. I'm getting by. It is Friday, and we're kind of trudging along, getting through the thing, getting through the week.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I
yes.
Really appreciate it.
So you're currently in California right now, right?
I'm currently in California. Yes, I am.
You're a Glendaleite? How do you say that?
I live here in Glendale. I've been living here for the past 20 years, around there. And I have 3 girls. My oldest is 21, and then I have a 15-year-old Paulina and a 10-year-old Camila, my baby. So
yeah.
I'm proud of my girls and my family, and I'm glad to be here today.
You know, you really don't look that old. I mean, if I may, like you talked about your daughters. I kind of pulled this out, and I didn't get permission, but hopefully you won't get too mad. So this is you and your family, right?
Yes, that's the loves of my life. Yeah.
You sure you're not a sister? You're the mom of these?
I'm the mom. I know. I had my oldest daughter Andrea when I was really young. So I was actually 19 when I had her.
Yeah. I won't ask you your age though. But
you can kind of figure that out. Yeah. So yeah. So that's why a lot of people think that, she's my little sister or whatever, but it's fun. I mean, it was hard, to have a daughter so young. Now that she's 21, about to be 22, I'm like, you cannot have kids until you're older.
Yeah, it must suck to look so young.
Yeah, very, very fun.
But so again, for full disclosure, I have known you since we were actually very little, right? We've known each other since middle school.
Yes.
12th Street, which is now Bahrain Middle School, which is ridiculous. It's 12th Street.
Yeah, that's how I remember it. 12th Street.
That's so if you're from Douglas, then you know that it's old school is 12th Street. That's how you know somebody from Douglas.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
So and talking about a little bit about your family, and we'll get into the health insurance part because primarily why you're here is to talk a little bit about health insurance. And, really a little bit about your business too. But I always like starting off with getting to know you and kind of your journey to this point and why you chose to even start with health insurance. What brought you to that point?
So, like I said, I had my daughter really young. I got married really young. I was working full time. I was going to school full time. And it was difficult. I mean, going to school full time, working full time, having a daughter. But I didn't want to stop there. I wanted to continue. And my first goal was to graduate with my bachelor's degree because I thought,
Yeah.
okay, I have a daughter. I don't want her to have an excuse and say, you know what, mom, I don't want to go to school. You know, my husband also had his bachelor's degree in psychology. So I said, there's no way I'm not going to, get this degree and graduate. And I have to show my daughter that, you can do it. It doesn't matter what life throws at you. You can just go for it. And that's my mentality. Like it's always been that. And so that was my first goal. I did graduate with my bachelor's in business management in 2005.
Yeah.
My second daughter was already born. She was only 3 months old when I graduated. So imagine, I remember when I look back, I remember how hard it was because I was still working full time, going to school full time. Um, and my last class, I had just had my daughter. So I never stopped. The whole time I was in school, I never wanted to stop because I said, if I stop, then I'm never going to go back and finish. So I figured might as well just do it all the way. And I just remember like breastfeeding my 2-month-old daughter as I was finishing my last class, breastfeeding her and doing my work on the computer. So those are very, very special moments for me. And it just made me say, you know what? Anything is possible. I can do it. As that was happening, my family was growing, and I thought, okay, I love being with my kids, but there has to be something that I can do where I'm not stuck in a job, like a 9 to 5 job where if my kids get sick, anything like that, I can't, what am I going to do? So I thought about insurance, but at the time, I didn't even know how to get started. So I basically just, started taking classes. I started taking classes. I wrote down goals that I wanted to accomplish. I read this book. I don't know if you've heard about it, The Secret.
I've read that one. Yeah.
And at that time, one of my aunts actually gave me that book, and it was a very special book to me because that kind of opened up my mind to say, you know what, I can do whatever, whatever I want to do. So I started writing goals. I started that, and then I finally figured, you know what, I'm just gonna start studying. There was a few classes that I had to take. I said, if I already studied so much, like why not even like take this program and do it, to get my license. So I did it, and in 2012 I started. Actually in 2011. But I started really slow because, by that time I had my third daughter. So I was really busy. And I started in 2011 slowly, and then by 2012 I got licensed with my property and casualty license, which property and casualty is mostly to sell like auto insurance, home insurance, business insurance.
Well, and I heard some of these licensing is it's a challenge to just complete the test. It's not only just taking the classwork, but also completing the test work.
Real estate, like the real estate test
Yeah.
where, if you don't study, you're not going to pass.
Yeah.
So you really have to study. And I started working as a farmer's agent when I first became licensed. And that was in 2013. And I started working as a farmer's agent, but I was a captured agent, and that's something that a lot of people don't know. A captured agent means that you only work with one company. So you're not a broker. You're not able to sell or give clients the opportunity to choose, different companies and what's best for them. So with them, it was really difficult because here in California, they're very expensive. And, by that time, Geico was coming out, all these other less expensive insurance were coming out, and I couldn't beat their price. And I was kind of stuck there because, I wasn't making money. I was just like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? So then I figured I might as well just look for, a corporate job or something like that. And then I found out about health insurance. And I found out about health insurance and I said, oh my gosh, I'm going to get my life license, my life accident and health. Might as well get it if I already have the other licenses, because I still had that entrepreneur mentality. I've always had it. Um, and I said, no, I have to do something. Like, I have to start my own business. I have to do something like this. So I got my life accident and health license, and in September of 2013, I became certified with most insurance companies, like most Medicare
Yeah.
insurance companies. I became a certified covered California agent also, and and I started I started working with doctors' offices, with medical groups, and that's how, and referrals, of course, and that's how I started my journey with medical insurance.
So with the challenges that you had, I mean, one of the things that I come across with a lot of entrepreneurs is really trying to establish their base, and with insurance, when I talk to a lot of people from insurance, a lot of people already have kind of an established person they work with, or, are there things that you do that's different, that reach out to people and I guess give advice on how somebody can acquire new business, or what the things you've done, because being challenged with kids and trying to establish a career, I mean, you're always trying to balance the time, balance time between family and giving it to your business. And so I didn't know if there was anything that you found helpful in establishing your client base.
So basically, I think the thing that was most helpful to me was my husband, because he always backed me up. Like, he always said, babe, go for it. He was the corporate guy, you
Yeah.
know, the stable one in our family, where, I was the entrepreneur, kind of thinker, but he was stable in his business. He worked in the same industry for years. So he always just said, you know what, I'm here to back you up. Whatever you want to do, go for it. So that really gave me that energy and that motivation
Yeah.
you know, to do this. And that was huge for me. And once I felt comfortable in doing it, then I started looking for business. And I started working with doctors' offices. And the first office that I worked with was actually uh, my uncle. He's a doctor here in Pasadena. And I worked with my aunt and uncle because she's the office manager. And that's how I started with them, because they were becoming, they had just signed a contract with a medical group. So in order to sell, like, let's say Medicare Advantage plans are HMOs. So now most doctors um, are aligned with a medical group, because most people have HMOs. They're less expensive. Um, and so then I started working with them. That was like the first office that I worked with. I started signing up clients, you know, uh, with a Medicare Advantage plans, supplemental plans, and even just regular plans, private plans. And once I did that, then I felt more comfortable to go to the next office, And I mean, every agent is different. Every agent markets themselves differently. So how I started, I basically just started knocking on doors, like looking online and going on Google and looking for primary care physicians in my area.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would look for primary care physicians in my area and say, okay, what plans do they take? Look at the plans. Okay, I'm certified with those plans. I'm going to go in there, introduce myself, to the office, to the staff, try to get an appointment with the doctor or the office manager, because usually the office manager is the one that controls, the office. And, just kept visiting, taking
Yeah.
stars, whatever it takes, right? Eventually, when they think of an agent, who do they think of? They think of me.
Yeah.
It's just consistency, and it's like, wanting to go beyond what regular people would do. So that's basically how I started. That's what I would do. I would set up appointments, like, or not appointments, but I would basically say, okay, this week I'm going to visit 5 offices and see what happens. And that's how I started. And before I knew it, a doctor's office was calling me and saying, hey, Marisol, we have a client or we have a patient that needs insurance. Can you
Yeah.
please? Of course. So, and then once I started doing that, there's a lot of medical groups here in LA. And there's a couple that are like the largest medical groups. So one of them approached me and said, hey, we would like to work with you. Um, you know, we have a lot of doctors' offices or new doctors that are coming on board, and we would like for you to be their agent, their broker. And I mean, that's the best, like, because you know that they have confidence in you, you know that they trust you. So
Well, and
to me, it was
and that's the best part, is building that confidence as an entrepreneur, and establishing that network very early on, even if it's one person at a time. So as we come to our first break, I did notice Miss Marisol, that Miss Netta came on, and so she'll be joining in just shortly. So I'm going to go ahead and take our first break here, and hopefully the audio is working on this one this time, and then we'll get back into talking to you a little bit about the actual business part of what it is and what you're here to talk about.
awesome.
There's no real balance in life, but you have to balance things out the best you can. My passion simply comes down to appreciation. Anything I have, as minimal as it may be, that I can see others that aren't as fortunate. I'm just thankful that I have life. I'm thankful I have my general health to begin with, so that I can fight for goals that I have. I think the person deep down is generally an entrepreneur. They're not. You're just that personality type. You don't fit the mold of doing a job just to get by. When I did it, it's because I had a passion that I wanted to do things and not be dictated by corporate rules and the establishment. Living by my guidelines, not needing somebody else to provide for me. My name is James Castaneda, owner of Expert IT Support, and this is our CEO Network.
Hello, Miss Marisol. Welcome back. So if you're watching us live, please keep hitting those heart emojis, because we love the loves. And again, if you're watching on the replay, hit those little wow emojis, because I just like wow emojis. Back here with Marisol Justiniano. I'm working on it. Previously known as Durazo, but that's old school. That's how I knew her before. So we're actually, this part of the segment is actually going to talk about the core of what we're here to do. We do have our other guest. She's just waiting in the wings for us. But we are going to talk a little bit about what healthcare and what you're here to promote. You specialize in Medicare specifically. So I got, one of the questions I had, just from a side, I have a small business, and I started roughly about 5 years ago. And I got to a point where you first start and you don't have any sense of like healthcare.
Right.
You're starting a business. How do you pay for this stuff? And that was a contemplation I had. And for the first few years, for the first couple of years, I didn't have health insurance, and staggered back and forth, between that first year until now. I actually have health insurance now through the corporation, but it did take a long road to get there. So for those entrepreneurs and people that are starting in business, is there healthcare plans that they can look at or look for?
Right. Yeah. So there's private insurance plans, and there's also, like, here in California, there's Covered California, which is also known as Obamacare. So I'm sure there's an Obamacare there in Arizona. And I do want to point out that I'm very excited because I'm in the process of getting licensed in Arizona. So I'm really, really excited about that. I think in the next 5 to 10 business days, I should have my license ready to go. So I'm very, very excited. And then I'll get to see what plans are out there and what I can do to help in Arizona. And the good thing about it is now is that everything's virtual, it's good and bad because I really like to meet with people, but right now because of the coronavirus, most health plans that I work with are now doing everything DocuSign, online, which is good for me because if I do have clients in Arizona, I can always help them. Um, but that's just the way it is now. But I do love to meet with people. That's like my favorite thing, honestly.
And I love connecting people. And a part of the show that I wanted to do while we had everybody here, and we'll get to it later, is really connect. And the challenge that it comes to in connecting people, especially in this kind of crisis, is how do you do that? How do you do that on a genuine level where it's not superficial, or where it's being seen by millions of people on a live Facebook feed and feel still genuine? Those are the challenges that we have, especially in my organization, as we move forward with this crisis. So, as far as you said, you specialize in Medicare.
I do. I specialize in Medicare supplemental plans and Medicare Advantage plans. I work with my Latino community a lot here in LA. There's not a lot of, well, there are a lot of agents that work in the Latino community, but I feel like I'm very honest and I love to help the community here. Actually, I'm one of the first agents that before this coronavirus pandemic started, I started these seminars in the beginning of the year for people that are turning 65. So I specialize in that. And the beauty of it was that I was the first agent, I believe in the States, that started doing these seminars in Spanish. So that to me was, awesome. But, once this pandemic started, we had to stop the seminars and, we'll see what happens in the future. I'm hoping that I can go back and do these seminars again because they were very successful. And I was targeting certain areas that need help with insurance. A lot of Spanish speaking, in the community don't understand what's going on. Once they turn 65, they don't know what to do. They're just, they think that they could continue to go to the same doctor that they had with Access or with Medi-Cal, but they have so many more options once they have their Medicare Part A and B. And I feel like I'm a resource to them to guide them and understand all the benefits that come with these plans.
Yeah, and I think the biggest challenge, at least for me too, is I just want health insurance and I want to pay as minimal as I can. I don't necessarily worry about all the little details until something happens, I guess. Exactly. How much is my copay? I recently went in and got blood work done, and surprisingly they charged me like $45, and I'm like, I thought this was covered. What am I paying for every month? It's stuff like that. I guess with your services, you can help guide people along a little bit easier and explain to them some of the things that they're missing. But is that accurate?
Yes. So I'm a broker, and the beauty of being a broker is you can basically show your clients all the different options they have. And with those options come the benefits. Every plan has their own benefits. Every plan has their own formulary. Every plan has their different co-payments and, additional benefits that they have. Some Medicare plans offer gym memberships, or hearing aids or, over-the-counter prescriptions or, things like that. And a lot of people don't even know. So once they sit down with me, they can, I can explain everything to them and say, look, this is what's available to you with this plan. This is what's available with this. And kind of show them like what's best for them. I can't choose for them, you know, because it's their health insurance and I cannot do that as a broker or as an agent, but I can lay it out for them. And that's the beauty of it. You know, there's a lot of plan representatives also that are agents, but they only represent one plan. And with me, you know, they're able to have the whole package. They're able to you know, have their options open and then decide what they want.
And if I may, I want to show everybody that your new logo, right? You shared with us this week in order to post it. This is your new logo, right?
Yes, that's my new logo.
So right here, first only, right on our CEO Network.
Thank you. It's simple, but it's really nice. I think it's really
simple to the point. And then as we get ready for our next guest, you know, there's always so many questions and things I want to ask, and there is a portion of this where I want to. We're going to ask some additional questions, hopefully, but there's just never enough time. And I always want to make sure that I promote you and your business as well, Miss. This is your contact information, correct?
That's my contact information, yes.
You're a licensed independent agent. You are from California, but you are getting licensed here in Arizona. But
soon it will say Arizona at the bottom as well.
And you're a resource of information, and not only a resource, but a good friend too. And if you are as personable with me as you are with anybody else, I think anybody would feel comfortable approaching you and asking you just some basic questions about their health insurance. So,
yes, my pleasure. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So as I get into getting ready for introducing our next guest, we have one more commercial break, talking about one of our sponsors, because we love our sponsors. And we wouldn't be able to do the show without any of our sponsors. So this one is, this next sponsor is somebody that has been a help to me since my beginning of my business and my career with real estate. And I appreciate her dearly. And it was a kind of an honor to do this video. So I'm going to be playing it now.
As an entrepreneur, I am using my resources that I have available to me through my corporation, but I'm doing that so that I can establish my own personal goals and help other people accomplish theirs. I really believe in unity and that we really are all one. And I think it's important for all of us to bridge that gap. Unless you get out of your comfort zone, if you don't experience those outside resources, you never really get to grow and know that we are all really just one. Great American Title is the only company that actually has a community outreach program. Because I am such a proponent of community nonprofit organizations, that's what pushed me off the fence and made me choose this company. I always incorporated networking into my scope of business so that I could meet other like-minded professionals that I could do business with. My name is Maria Brandenburg, and this is our CEO Network. Robert, get to this!
Oh, I love Miss Maria Brandenburg. So Maria Brandenburg from Great American Title. She's been a tremendous support for us, not only on my business on the real estate side, but our CEO Network. She's been an event sponsor and now one of our video sponsors. So if I may, our next guest, I'll introduce her here. She has 27 years of experience in management, customer service, and nonprofit work. She is also an event planner with organizations such as Single Moms Ministry, founder of the Heartship Alliance. She is the annual giving officer at Honor Health Foundation. Please welcome Miss Netta Shaw.
Hi.
There she is. How are you doing, Miss Netta?
Timing. Doing great. Excited to be here today. So thank you.
Yes, yes. It's always kind of fun coordinating these things. And the one thing that Gabby wanted me to talk about was it's never about like the events. It's never about like doing the big events that we do or even these shows. It's always about the journey there. You know, the discussions back and forth and the emails and the collaboration. It's always about that collaboration to the point we get to. And the reason I bring that up is because, you know, you just never know who you come across in life and what they're going to mean, you know, 2-3 years from now. And that would be a good example of you and I, right?
That's right. I'm curious to know if you remember our first meeting.
I kind of, sort of, but kind of don't. I know we started talking about it, but I wanted to talk about it here.
Yeah, you know, I think we met about 3-4 years ago at a chamber networking event.
Oh.
And you shared with me at the time, you were involved in real estate, and I shared with you, I think I was at Goodwill at the time, and we just kind of stayed connected over the years, and I've seen you grow, you know, into what you're doing now with the CEO network, and I'm really proud of you and all of your success with real estate. So.
And meanwhile, I was annoyingly sending you emails of like trying to buy houses, which I still haven't got you one yet, but we'll work on it. That's a whole other conversation.
Not yet. It's funny you said that because I remember seeing a flood of emails and I was like, oh my goodness, that's why he wanted my card.
Well, that's the whole business. So okay. When you start as an entrepreneur or starting any business, you get told these are the things you need to do. And part of it is annoyingly send people emails and all these things back and forth so they, I guess at some point, call you back. But somewhere in between there and now that mind shifted a little bit. And it's what value can I portray? What can I provide somebody as a gift so that, you know, maybe they give something back and without that expectation, you know, and that's what really gift giving is. It's giving without that sense of expectation, you know, because otherwise it's a conditional gift, you know, like, and I think so many people talk about unconditional love, but yet they get mad when they don't receive it back. So how can it be unconditional if you're getting mad?
And you know, something I truly believe highly in is that you meet people for a reason. And in that moment when you and I met, we don't know what that reason is, but like you just said, we've stayed in touch these last 3 or 4 years, but you never know how we may be able to support each other later. I mean, this is a perfect example, you know, so I totally agree what you're saying. I think that's great.
Yeah, you just never know who's going to come across. And so many people are so dismissive of somebody they didn't find value in. And again, like a couple of years ago, it was just that mind shift of like, you know, everybody has value. And my gift, or at least the thing I can give people, is showing them and sharing with them what I see of their value. And then maybe they come back, maybe not, you know, and then I just keep going. You just keep going with the flow of things. And the reason I bring up giving is because your role now, you're in a particular role where you seek out donations and assistance for the organization you're part of. And what is that organization, Miss?
Yes, so that is true. I must say that I'm very grateful and very blessed to work in a field or an area where I can give back to the community. And just growing up, I grew up in a Christian family. And as an adult, you have a choice. You can stay within that, you know, religion or not, but I've chosen to stay, and it's been very important to me with the fact, knowing how I was raised, that life is bigger than you, and it's not about yourself. It's really how you can be a blessing to other people. And you know, I knew that I was going to get to an age I was going to start working for myself, because my dad always say, if you don't work, you don't eat. And I just always prayed. I said, Lord, please, okay, I know I have to work. I know I have to, you know, find a job, but at least let me find something that I will find meaning in doing, and that sense of fulfillment, and be happy in that. And so I've been very grateful for the last 10 years to work in the nonprofit sector. And so prior to, you know, what I'm doing now, I worked at Goodwill, the American Cancer Society, but my role with the Honor Health Foundation, to answer your question, yes. So I'm an annual giving officer. So I'm a part of a team, and we manage a book of business or portfolio of donors that have either established a relationship with us. That also includes acquisitions, so acquiring new donors. And what's really wonderful about the Honor Health Foundation, it's really not about a transaction. You know, if you donate money, it's wonderful, but we really want to get to know who you are as a person, what the reasons why you give, like what is your affinity to the mission. What was the reason behind why you gave to, Desert Mission, or to the hospital? Were you a grateful patient? Did our doctors take really good care of you? And I've had such an amazing time getting to know, I call them friends of the organization. So they're donors, yes, but once you get to know them and build those relationships, they truly become friends. So now you're reaching out to not only say, happy birthday, but we're also, reaching out to them during all this COVID-19 pandemic just to see how they're doing. How are you all holding up during this time? Is there anything that you need? So I love what I do. So, and I'll keep going, but I'll just stop there.
I'm just listening. So, I know. So part of your, so part of what CEO Network does and has done, even before our CEO Network, because we've been at this for about 4 years now. We just rebranded this year. Is always been this community support and advocating for nonprofits and the things that we can do to continue to build our community. So we cannot be successful unless we help others. That's been the kind of the underlying tone of what this whole organization's been about. And the thing I like the most, especially, helping out people and friends in particular, helping them out in the organizations I care about. Because there's certain things that I care about, but there's so many other things that people need help with. And it's just hard to, to stretch a dollar out to so many things. And I know right now with COVID and the things, healthcare is getting a lot of attention. And, there's a lot of concerns about the way that healthcare is being, administered and driven. That's why we invited Marisol, but we're going to be doing a little group chat in a second. And you guys, have a very common theme, and I'll talk about that in a little bit too, but bringing people together to support one another has been the ultimate goal of this organization and what we're trying to do, and obviously help you find people that can donate to Honor Health Foundation.
Yes, but it's so much bigger than that. Again, we are more relationship focused, and there are so many people out there that they actually want to give and they don't know how. They don't have those conversations. Say they get connected with myself and they say, Netta, I want to give, but I don't know where. So during that moment of me getting to know who they are, I can learn about where they're most passionate. Is it about feeding hungry families? Is it about supporting, training for the military? Is it about forensic nursing for those individuals who have been sexually abused or raped? And so spending time with them, getting to know about them and what they love and how they want to support is a way of guiding them, to make that the donation that they'll feel most proud and happy about. And so that's something that we do at Honor Health Foundation. And I want to share with you that, so we're in July now. So, about 3 months ago was really when stuff hit the fan with COVID-19. We knew it was coming. We knew it was in our backyard, but just boom. And that was a time when it really hit us. And so a lot of organizations were reaching out, scrambling, saying, okay, we're going to lose our donations. We're going to lose this funding and things like that. But Honor Health Foundation said, that's not our focus right now. Our focus is asking our donors how they are doing. What can we do for you during this time to serve you? You've been there for us all these years. You've supported this program. You've supported that program. But now we are saying, what can we do for you? So those conversations, we were just calling and saying, Mrs., so-and-so, how are you today? Do you have toilet paper? Do you need hand sanitizer? Because in the beginning, remember, toilet paper, the necessities that we use on a daily basis were just gone.
I was freaking out about toilet paper myself.
Well, it took me a month to find paper towels, believe it or not. But the demographics that we serve the most at Honor Health Foundation, they are an older demographic, and they are in that higher risk category for COVID-19. And so our care really shifted. We care, every day, but it really was, it wasn't, today's call wasn't about thank you so much for your gift. It was, we appreciate your support over the years, but today really it's about you. How can I help you? What can I do? And that's how the entire foundation came together. And that made me even more proud to work with such a foundation with wonderful leadership that we have. So it's been a rough time, but to me, I'm an optimist. I'm a realist, but I am an optimist. But to me, I always believe that there's a silver lining around any gray cloud. or sky, you know, and my hope was that we were a silver lining for our friends of the organization, you know, during a time such as this.
Well, and it's a challenge trying to communicate and connect with people at a distance. You know, the challenge I had going from in-person networking to stuff like this is that you don't get that sense of like camaraderie. I can't shake your hand, and I mean, you can see my inflections, I guess, a little bit, but there's something just a little bit of a miss. And you know, for people to give, I think they need to almost feel like tangibly the things that they're connected to. You know, they want to see, you know, a child, they want to have a story that they connect with. And so overcoming those challenges is what really this year I think is all been about. You know. So is there anything in particular that you want to bring up with Honor Health, or what you're doing, or what the organization is focused in on right now?
Well, we're always supporting our great, you know, programs and services. Right now, we are supporting Desert Mission. There's a virtual food drive happening. So if your passion is to feed hungry families, this is a great opportunity for you to do so. That has been launched on Facebook as well. You can also reach out to me, and I can kind of guide you through, you know, what that looks like. And but that's go ahead,
so,
Robert.
Since you brought that up, I got I got your email information here so that people can contact you and connect with you. Hope this is okay.
Okay. Oh, that's fine.
Got your hair straight out. You're very curly today. I love the curl.
This is me more days than straight. So, you know. That's my everyday email signature. But that's perfect. That's perfect. There's also, as you can see, Mike, all of my contact information, the foundation location. Also, there are ways to connect with me on LinkedIn, on Twitter, you know, Facebook. As far as Honor Health, you can see what we have going on. But I'm happy to have a conversation. I love, you know, I think Marisol mentioned it too, love meeting with people, you know, face to face and having that personal interaction. That is me all day. I love it. So, and I'm actually working from home right now, which is still good, but I do miss being able to hug people, you know, to hug a donor, you know, to just be out and about in the community and shake a hand, you know. So I know that we'll get back to that hopefully sooner than later. But that's, in the meanwhile, that's a good way of reaching out to me. And I'm also happy to do Zoom calls like we're doing today.
Oh, perfect. And then I don't know if you'd sent me a link before too. If people want to log in and kind of check out the community page for Honor Health Foundation, you'd sent me this link before. It does talk about the Desert Mission, so it's up there. It's honorhealth.com/community.
Yes.
The Desert Mission. It's got other volunteer programs. I was exploring it a little bit the other day and found a webinar series or a Zoom series where they were just talking about different classes they were having on Zoom. So I encourage anybody that's watching right now to go check out the website. Again, honorhealth.com/community, or go and check out Miss Netta Shaw on LinkedIn, because that's where I try to troll her in the last couple of days.
Yes. And if they're on the main page, if they scroll down to the bottom, they'll also see the foundation. There's a link for that. At the very top of the page you are on, I believe you will see a link that says ways to give. And so it'll be a drop down of various funds or campaigns that they can give and support. Desert Mission is one of them. Also, we have one that is Honor Health's greatest needs, including COVID-19. And so there are ways that if individuals want to support in that area, support the hospital or even the frontline caregivers, they can do that too.
That sounds perfect. So again, Miss Netta Shaw, Honor Health Foundation. I'm going to go to our last commercial. It's actually me talking. So, and then afterward, we're going to be doing a kind of a group session between all three of us, because we're all here live. And why not? Because I'm in control. So anyway. If you wish to market your business, because we have to pay the bills, if you wish to market your business here with us at our CEO Network, we create your marketing videos, offer social media management support, and highlight you at our network marketing events when we have them, if they ever come back this year. Instant messages here on Facebook at ourceonetwork.com, or for details coming up about sponsorships or marketing opportunities, please connect with us here Desodia is our social media management tool. Gabby, I believe you guys met her. She is a significant resource for all of your social media needs, Insight Productions, lighting, audio. They're part of the video work that we've done here today. And of course, everybody else that helps in all that production work. Coming to the end. So I'm going to go ahead and change this. Hello, it's all three of us now. So you met Miss Marisol and you met Netta, but not together. And the reason I wanted to bring you three together, or two, me included, is because you share a common theme. You've lost someone significantly in your life, and it's those common themes and threads that really bind us together, because only certain people experience certain things when it comes to like a loss of a loved one. Netta, you mentioned that you lost your mom to cancer at a very young age. And Marisol, lost her husband not too long ago, and the process of overcoming that and getting through that and still being able to keep things together and moving forward in life, creating your business and being optimistic is really what our goal is, to keep going and keep striving, no matter the challenges that we face. So I'm glad we're all here together and we can kind of share this moment. But do you guys have any questions for each other? Because I know there's a couple here.
Well,
I won.
I just want to thank you for mentioning my mom. She was my rock. I lost her when I was 16 to cancer. So really at a pivotal time in my life where I needed my mom the most, I lost her. But she was also my strength. She is the reason that I am the person that I am today, because I've gone through many struggles myself, losing her, being homeless at 17, divorcing and becoming a single mother, and just working hard and making my children the focus and the reason that I do what I do for them. And so when you speak of strength and working through your goals and your dreams, you have to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to be, if you don't have someone in your corner, like, I was divorced. So, it was God, my children, and me. And so it was us against the world. And, and I'm very grateful. And I give, again, I have a relationship with with Jesus, and I'm not ashamed of that. But with those three elements, that's the reason why I'm here today. So, and Marisol, she shared, she had her child, I forgot which one, at a younger age. Yeah, my oldest, I had my son, Christopher, when I was 20 years old. And so I kind of can relate to having, a child at a younger age, because you do not look your age, and I'm 44.
Oh, thank you. Neither do you.
Thank you. But I think that my kids have helped keep me youthful, and I said I have that in common with her too. So
I agree. I lost my husband a little over 2 years ago, and same like you, it was a shock. It was really hard for my daughters and I, but I have to keep going. I have to keep, they're like my world, my life. And if it wasn't for them, I don't know what would have happened to me, but I'm blessed that I have them, and I thank God too that I'm able to move on and keep going and working and loving them, and doing everything that I can for them, because that's all we can do, is just trying to be as an honest person as possible, and just keep going, because we have to. I mean, especially as me as a Latino woman, I'm like, you know what? Like, I have to teach my daughters. I have 3 daughters. I have to teach them, look, there's nothing stopping you. You can do whatever you want. And just,
that's right. I agree. Whatever they want, regardless of what the world tells them.
Exactly.
You set your mind to it, you can make it happen. So kudos to you. I'm so proud of you and your journey.
And nice. We have to get together. We have to talk.
Okay. I would love that. That would be wonderful.
I got your info. I took a picture.
But you can always replay it too. So part of the whole network, again, has always been relating people on in a very genuine level. It's never been about business, and as many people have come to our networking events I gave Marisol this personality test the other day. I think we took the one, right, Netta?
We did.
Different personality, remember?
What I guessed, yes, and between what it was. But it's connecting people all in this capacity, and as we are challenged again with this whole COVID and staying at home, and I'm quarantining here for the next couple of weeks. Like how do I still maintain relationships out there and still show value? And so it's always those challenges. So obviously, Marisol is challenged with trying to continue her business and keep growing it, and then obviously, Netta, you're challenged with trying to expand your donor base and trying to get people to support Honor Health and the things that they're doing, and bringing awareness in. And so since we're on this format, is there anything that we can kind of share between each other that we've learned along our paths and our journeys that have assisted us and helped us in our careers and our business?
For me, I would say I'll always be putting your best foot forward and being genuine and really concerned about other people. Being selfless has really helped me build relationships. And you can only be yourself, and I really credit my mom, how she raised me. I don't see color. I just see people. I see personalities. I look at ways that we can work together to benefit each other and support, one another. Rather, it's just calling someone and being able to vent, or handing someone, Marisol's business card or your business card, Robert, just being a resource to help each other. Because I know at the end of the day, no one gets to where they are alone.
Absolutely.
Someone has helped you along the way, whether you acknowledge them or not. But if you are honest and you are genuine about that and transparent about that, that is the truth, and that's something about me too. I'm very transparent, and I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for the people that I've met along my journey. I'm grateful for the people that are in my family's lives, the people I work with, everything. I'm just one of those. I'm just happy in spirit and just grateful, because our past doesn't define who we are. It hasn't defined our future. So no matter what we've gone through, ultimately we decide where we go from here, so that's just kind of like my philosophy, which is a few things in one. but it's working for me.
Marisol?
I believe the same thing. I feel like if you're an honest person, especially in business and personal too, I feel like if you're honest and you care about people and you want the best for people, there's nothing else you can do. I feel like if you're honest and you try your best in everything that you do in every aspect of your life, then what else can you do? If you just, and you're a grateful person. I'm a very grateful person too, and I believe if you're grateful, then you live a happier life. And I just feel like, I'm just happy, and I'm proud of myself. It's been a difficult life, but I've overcame everything that's been thrown at me. I think pretty good, and I think that I'm a great mom. I feel like my daughters can depend on me, and for anything that they want, and that's my number one priority. To make sure that my daughters are okay, and that they're happy, and that they feel loved and protected and cared for. And I feel like if I'm doing that, then I can do anything else.
And again, talking and continuing the conversation about connecting with other people, the one challenge that I gave myself a while ago is, when people come into your life, don't dismiss them. Especially if they've come around, they knocked on your door a couple times. It's like, okay, somebody's telling you something, and they could be knocking on your door for very selfish reasons. It could be the window guy trying to sell you window treatments for, but obviously they're coming to you for a reason. And sometimes I just open the door and don't have any expectations, know that they're going to sell me on something, but then, you know, change the conversation. I'm like, well, tell me about yourself. Why, you know, the challenge, I think, you know, with meeting people, especially new people, is not coming with an agenda. And that's difficult because you don't want to waste your time. Obviously, you know, you have to make a life, you have to make a career, you have to make money on some level to survive and pay for kids. And so you automatically sometimes come with an agenda. And I've kind of changed that mindset, you know, a couple of years ago, in meeting people just to meet people and see where the conversation goes. You know, I always tend to talk about personalities and human behavior just because I've been involved in it for the last 15 years. And but it always seems that helps people. I don't know. I probably annoy both of you from we're talking about personalities and stuff.
No.
It's so much fun to just talk about life, you know? Like, I feel like if you start talking about life, then you connect. Now, if someone's not into talking about life and they just want to go straight to business, I mean, it might not be a good fit, but at least you know where they stand, and at least you know what you need to do. And sometimes people are very closed off, and sometimes, you know, a lot of people don't trust other people, and they don't let, you know, they just don't let their guard down. But I feel like if you're a positive person and you just, you know, want to get to know someone and talk about business, talk about life, talk about family, I think it's an easy flow. You know? So that's how I see it. That's how I am. So I don't know.
And how is it for you getting donors now? Has that been a bit of a challenge? You know, like talking about, you know, Honor Health and raising money, and again, it's always a challenge to like set up an appointment and know that's kind of what you're there for, but at the same time, like I want it to be more than just that. Like for you and I, for instance, I mean, I wanted it to be more than just real estate, but then that's all I was taught. And until I learned, like, okay, Netta's a person, not just a transaction.
Right. Well, you know what, to share with you, when you work in nonprofits, raising money, there's always challenges. COVID-19 just kind of added to that challenge, but it's been bittersweet because right now this pandemic it's affected everyone. So we're all in this together. You know, people's family members have lost their jobs. You know, family members have been sick. And now there's like this call to action that's already been there, but it's now it's kind of at the front line because it's affecting all of us to this level. And so we actually have donors, you know, calling in, they're mailing in donations because they want to support. You know, again, if they've had a family member affected, they know that Honor Health is an amazing hospital. We have some of the best doctors and physicians on staff there, you know, and so they want to keep supporting our efforts. So it's been wonderful. It's been a great, you know, opportunity to have, you know, a more in-depth conversation in addition to, you know, seeing how our donors are doing. But, you know, it's allowing moments like this where, oh, I didn't know that Honor Health Foundation does this. So I didn't know you all help raise funds for Desert Mission. So it's because a lot of people are at home right now too, you know, and whether they're working from home or they've lost their job, we've had more conversations with them, you know. So it's been, I think my best way to describe that, it's bittersweet. It's a bitter situation, but it's given us an opportunity to connect with more donors. But doesn't mean that we don't, you know, need the continued support.
So with that said, we're getting to the end of our interview today. I mean, it does go by quick. I mentioned it. It was like, it goes real quick. You don't even notice the time go. And again, my goal was to bring you guys together, really, at the end of the day. It wasn't necessarily about the insurance or the foundation. Those are very significant components to what you're here to talk about, but it was really to collaborate and to bring two people who I felt were on the same path, on the same level, and have almost experienced the same kind of journey together and have that discussion. We started. And what better way to do that than with just conversation and this platform. So I want to appreciate you guys. So Marisol, Netta, you get the last word if you want to say anything before we go.
I just want to say thank you, Robert, for this platform and for trusting me and interviewing me. This was awesome. It was great meeting you a couple of weeks ago, having lunch, catching up.
Reconnecting, yeah.
Yeah, reconnecting. I mean, I hadn't seen you since high school, so that was amazing.
Oh, yeah, I have no hair. Look, if you didn't notice.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I can't wait to work in Arizona.
Awesome. Miss Netta?
I echo Marisol's comments. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, Robert, and I'm so proud of you. I think what you're doing is wonderful by connecting people, and I appreciate you introducing me to Marisol. I do feel that we'll speak again after today's Zoom meeting, and I'm just grateful to meet wonderful people. I am, a believer of there are no mistakes. We meet for a reason and purpose. We may not know what it is right away, but it's revealed to us down the line, rather it's 4 years ago or this year, so I think that the three of us, we were meant to meet and speak together today. So I
Absolutely.
appreciate you. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. This is Robert Morales, our CEO Network. You guys have a good and happy weekend.
You too. Bye. Be safe.